Have you ever wondered what's the next level of success? And you're like, I am doing the same thing, but I'm having the same exact year over every single year, the same year. So I have something for you. I was on a call with a possible new client, and he was sharing his business, where his business come from, how it's grown, what got him into the business that he was in, and what his biggest like roadblock was. Kimberly, I have been having the same exact year over the last 3 to 4 years. And I said, I know exactly where that is. I know exactly what's happening in his business, but I wanted to understand where he was coming from. And here's where we kind of went with it. Once he gave me a good dialogue of what is business, and I call that a needs analysis, right? When you ask question about what someone's doing, you find out the dynamics of their business, how they get business, how they produce results, like all the different pieces of the business. What we found was he was doing what came naturally to him, which for most people, you're like, yeah, that's exactly what we do. Except he wanted to do more. So that makes there's a big change that we have to make as humans. Okay. So think of it like this. When you wake up, you naturally have a certain amount of drive, a certain amount of enthusiasm, a certain amount of knowledge in where you are. And if you go out and do your business that way, you naturally are going to get a certain way. You're going to get to a certain level of production, a certain level of success, a certain level. It's only until you say, I want more, right? When you put the I want more into play, you have to actually do something different. Now, a lot of people go, oh, I'm going to get more focused. Yeah, okay, you do need to get more focused, but it's just like baking a cake. Now, I'm not a big baker, but I will tell you this. I like the box cakes. You know why I like the box cakes? Because it tells me on the back of the box exactly the ingredients I need and exactly how to do it. It's easy, I can do it, and I can make a cake. Now, some of you guys might be big bakers and you may go on, Kimberly, how dare you? And yet, let's go with that analogy, right? So it's very easy and it's very natural to go in and make this box cake, right? Now, if I was going to go and bake something more advanced like sourdough, oh, that's a whole different type of thing, right? It's not just measuring something, it's actually weighing something. It's a whole different type of ingredients to go from a box cake that everybody can do to sourdough bread that a lot of people can't. Now, if you don't know the difference in that, that's a whole different video. Now, think of someone's business in the same exact thing. Naturally, he's got all the ingredients. Super simple. But I want to make something different. I want something different. I want something more for my life, something more for my business. Well, to do that, you gotta be different. You gotta look different. You gotta act different. You gotta be strategic. So the way I explained it to him is there's specific ingredients to take your business from one level to the next. And I want to break down these ingredients for you, right? So I call it going from entrepreneurial to purposeful, but we overuse the word purpose a lot of time. I'm going to be more purposeful. I'm going to be more focused. Well, what are the ingredients to make that change? Because here's what happens when someone's looking to do this climb, they're looking to break through this. We call it a natural ceiling of achievement, meaning when they're doing what's natural to them, right? They're bumping up against this ceiling of achievement because they've got to do something different, learn something different, that kind of thing there. If they don't make the breakthrough, a lot of things will happen. One of the first one is kind of disappointment, like, oh, I didn't do it again. I didn't hit my goals again. Or, oh, is this ever going to happen for me? Then sometimes it gets to a little bit of resignation, like, well, I guess this isn't just for me. I guess I'm never going to be this type of success, or I'm never going to make this amount of money. Sometimes it's looking for greener pastures. Maybe this job just isn't for me. I'm going to go look for something else. Too quickly, people will give up on their goals and their dreams because they're not putting the right ingredients together. So let's break that down for you. To go from E, entrepreneurial, to P, which is purposeful, and sometimes can feel a little bit painful, there are 5 very specific ingredients that you need. The first one is focus. You've got to be hyper focused in where you want to go. Now, people are like, okay, Kimberly, of course I'm focused. Here's my goal. This is what I want to do. You've got to be very clear on those goals. What is the goal? What are the metrics I need to do to get to the goal? And why is it important to me? See, a lot of times we don't tie a big goal into why it's important to us. Meaning, why is this important to me? And what will it do for me? And what will it do for the people who are around me? I ask people all the time, and we call something like this, like your drive for success. Why do you wake up in the morning, right? The big why. And if someone says, oh, my goal is to make, let's just put it out there, $250,000. Great. Well, why is $250,000 important to you? And they may go, well, I can go on vacations I want. I can do, I can pay off debt. I can buy a house, whatever the reasons are. And then I ask the other questions, which makes all the difference. 250 is important. Going on vacation or paying off debt or buying a house are important. My question is, what does buying your first home mean to you? What does buying your first home do for you? Who will it impact when you buy that first home? You see the difference? I didn't just go to the surface level. I'm starting to go deeper. Why is paying off debt so important for you? What will that do for you? And each time they should be giving me an answer until I can feel that there's a change in their why they're doing something. See, too many times we don't slow down long enough to understand the why. So you can put focus into play, but if it doesn't have any power behind it, if it doesn't have any purpose behind it, what are you driving for? You might say, it doesn't matter if I make these calls a day because, well, I'll make 250 another time, right? When you're tied to the two, you're powering the purpose. Okay, so the first one is focus. Where do you want to go and why is it important to you? Then you need to get what I call strategic. Yes, somebody out there is probably crushing it, doing exactly what you want to do, but you have to basically take what I consider like a 30,000-foot view of your business. Meaning, really look at where your business is, where the gaps are, where the holes are, where you know you need to shore up. A good analogy that I use all the time is this. If I went out and I was going to build my dream home, and my dream home was 4,000 square foot dream home, and I wanted it on a just wherever, right? On the beach, by a golf course, on a lake, whatever it is, in the middle of the woods, right? 4,000 square foot home. Now, what I'm not going to do is build a 2,000 foot foundation, right? I'm going to want my house to stand the test of time. So if I'm going to buy a 4,000 square foot home, I'm going to want to put it on a 4,000 square foot foundation. Now think of it like this. Let's say your home is 200,000 square feet and it's on a 200,000 square foot foundation, but you want to double it in size. A lot of times, like you want to double your business, you got to build a deeper foundation. Your business is the same way. The problem is what happens is people have a certain way of doing business and they want to expand it. They think the foundation that they're on is going to be enough. It's not enough. So you strategically need to look at different things that people are doing. What are they doing here? How are they doing this? How is that working for them? How does that affect me? Will I be willing to do it? When you get super strategic, you're getting a little bit more creative in how the business runs. You may look down at the business and go, okay, I see a gap here. I know that I'm going to need to do this here. I may need to build my sphere of influence, my database, the people that I know would do business with me if they just knew I was doing this business. So the first one is focus. The second one is strategic options, right? Strategically, what will I do different? Because you have to do something different when you choose to double your business or whatever you're willing to do. Number three are models. What are other models that other people have done that their business is hitting that level? And you have to go and figure out what models you might need. It could be a mindset of how you're looking at it. It could be like a physical marketing model. It could be a lead generation model. It could be a systems of models, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, what model do I need to be doing so I can do it too? Pretty much somebody else has done it before you. Go figure out what they did. Rinse and repeat, right? The fourth thing that you need to do, the fourth thing is this. It's very specific. It's called systems. And I know people kind of go, Kimberly, I'm not really a systems person. I wasn't either, but I have become a systems freak because systems allow me to go faster. When I put a system in place, I can go much faster in what I do. And so think of it in this sense here. If you're doing something over and over and over again, but you're constantly have to recreate it, a system should be put in place. If you're doing something that matters to your business, that will bring in the most amount of money to your business or the most amount of views, eyeballs, whatever it is, a system should be in place. There's a big saying that is out there called "the fortune is in the follow-up." And I think most people are stepping over possible future deals to pick up the really fast ones right now. The interesting thing is There are fast deals that can happen right now. The follow-up, the long-term gain on that, the building of the trust of other people are where you're going to get a lot of your fortune from. So what systems are not in place? What systems won't support it? Now, here's what I've noticed as I've grown big businesses, right? And every time I've gotten to a specific level, and you can look back in the business and you'll see these things. The bigger we got in different intervals of getting a certain way, all of our systems would break down. And it would be something as easy as, okay, our communication system wasn't working for this many people in our company. We got to extend it. Or the way that we were looking at our social media at this level, it looks different here. Or the way that we were educating our people looks different now because of the size, or even the different types of people. So your systems are going to be almost kind of a constant living, breathing thing, because as you build, they will break, or they'll need something more to them. So you're going to constantly be doing that. So one is focus, two is strategic options, three is model, four is systems. Number five, probably one of the most important part of it is accountability. See, we think that we can hold ourselves accountable, and there's a very small percentage of people who actually can do that. Meaning, if somebody's not saying, did you do it? How did it go? Coaching you through it, you might just push it to the next week, push it to the next month, push it to the next day. It does not matter. The accountability around it. If something is super important, you put accounting around it. You hold it accountable to what it's supposed to be doing. So let's picture this. We mentioned earlier $250,000, right? That was our goal. Well, there should be specific metrics that you need to hit in a quarter. There also should be specific metrics that you're hitting by the month, and then specific measures by the week and by the day. If you know you need to go on this many appointments to get this much money, then you should break that down. If you know that you need to make this many calls to get the appointment, then you go on that. If you know you need to make this many posts to get this type of views, then you should do that. You've got to break down the metrics, and you've got to hold yourself accountable. So sometimes that can look different. That could look like a coach. It could look like a mentor. It could look like another person who's going through the same type of business, and you're holding each other accountable. But here's what I know. When you don't put all five of the ingredients into play, what you find is you keep going back to that ceiling of achievement. And here's the interesting thing. I want you to understand, every time you choose to grow, this same model, which I just taught you, is going to show up in different levels. It does not matter from when I've started a business to when I've grown a business. I'm hitting those ceiling of achievements in a bunch of different levels. And that's all right, because here's what I know. Every time I hit one, my business has grown, and then that means I got to grow. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So I trust this helps you. If you like it, just let me know kind of what was your big takeaway at the bottom in comments. And I'm looking forward to more education pieces like this for you. Have a great day.